Okay, so let's start by just sitting up comfortably. And at any point, if you become uncomfortable, you've got to, if you feel that you want to change your position, change your position. If you want to feel you got to scratch because something itches, then scratch. Right, just like this. See, easy, and then it's done, and you don't have to think about it. Um, and let's start by we're going to take a slow, deep breath, completely fill up with air. And as you breathing out through your nose, and as you do that, pull your shoulders up like you're trying to stick them in your ears. So you're totally filled up with breath. Just keep it that way for a moment, not straining, just resting, full of breath. And then all at once, open the mouth, drop the shoulders, release. With the idea of just releasing 360 degrees, just like like the last sigh you'll ever heave or have to heave, just the sigh of just okay. So, remember the last day of exams, you finished your last exams, you finished closing on your house, you finished whatever, and it's just ah, that's what we're doing here. Okay, so in this case, we can take, without having to be specific, whatever stresses, whatever's been ever gone on in our life ever, we get to heave it all out in one sigh. Lucky us. Okay, so again, breathing in. In case your eyes are still open, you can close them. Let's do that again. Let's do that again. Okay, so that was the hard part. Now we just forget about the breathing. We let the breathing take care of itself. We let everything take care of itself. The body is already resting in the seat. And notice that that doesn't require any work or effort or decision making or monitoring or anything from us. Anytime we happen to check, yeah, body's still here resting in the seat. So we're unemployed as regards the body. Anytime we happen to notice, oh yeah, breath is still moving in and out of the body, nothing for us to do there. So we're unemployed as regards the breath. You just rest in this luxurious situation. The body's there sitting, the breath is there moving in and out of the body. Also, the senses take care of themselves. So we hear sounds. Much as the breath moves in and out of the body, sounds move in and out of our field of awareness. They show up, they're there for a little while, they go away. There's nothing we have to do about it, nothing we can do about it. So we're unemployed as regards the hearing and all the other senses. Maybe sensations come and go in the body, maybe visual, you know, colors behind the eyelids, maybe not. We have no role in any of it, not even keeping track of it, not even trying to be mindful of it. We're just completely at rest, completely unemployed. Also, naturally, thoughts and feelings come and go. Perfect. Thoughts and feelings come and go exactly as sounds and sensations, the breath. A thought or a feeling shows up within our field of awareness, hangs around for a while, leaves, does that all on its own accord. So we're completely unemployed as regards thinking and feeling. We're just resting in this natural situation, resting in this situation of awareness as it is, however it is, as it unfolds by itself in each fresh moment. So as the sounds and sensations, thoughts and feelings come and go, whatever else comes and goes, it's something like different breezes coming and going within the sky. In this case, the wide open sky of awareness. The sky has no preferences. The sky doesn't favor one kind of breeze over another. The sky is not diminished or damaged even by a tornado. It's not improved even by a rainbow. It's just infinitely neutral open space within which stuff, phenomena come and go effortlessly and frictionlessly. Nothing damages the sky. So just like that, no sound, no thought, no feeling can damage awareness or enhance awareness. Awareness is just like open space. So we just remain like that, remain as that space-like awareness, as you already are. Not trying to concentrate, not trying to push anything away or hold on to anything, not trying to have any particular kind of experience. Not trying to do anything. Anything we can try to do will be small, artificial. So we just relax our grip on any such effort. Relax your grip on any such intention. And just relax back into this sky-like awareness which you already are. This boundless open space of awareness, which is always right here. We don't have to move an inch to look for it. Every thought, every moment of experience takes place within this space of awareness. Where else could it be? So that's all we do. Anything you find yourself gripping, just relax your grip. Just relax back into this open space of deliciously empty awareness. We may notice that this awareness, being like open space, has no texture, no density, no size or shape. No color, no sound, no inside or outside, no anything. Yet there's something about it that feels like home. Something about it that attracts the mind. So we like to rest in this. So nothing we have to do. That resting happens automatically. Now keep the eyes closed. And take a couple of minutes to start gently bringing the body back to a more active state. You might feel like shifting around a bit in your seat. Maybe twisting the trunk or stretching your limbs. Kind of like waking up from a long nap. Get the blood flowing again. You might feel like rubbing the palms of your hands together or squeezing your face or your scalp a little. And then when you feel ready, you can slowly open the eyes. Take your time. Okay, how's everyone doing? If you're still opening your eyes, take your time. Just always take as much time as the body wants. Everybody good? Any questions? Yes, Susie. So, let me, hold on. I have to enable you to unmute yourself. Okay, yeah, Susie, you can go ahead.
My question is how to deal with judgment. I find so much fear around judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
I
yeah.
become really aware I'm choosing, but there's a strong sense other people controlling me. And because it's very strong sense of thought associated with feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to be free from those, judgment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm choosing, but I find it's not easy.
Right. So, so first of all, just to be clear, are you talking about during meditation or just in regular life?
Not during the meditation.
Okay.
When I, wake up from the meditation,
Mm-hmm.
living life,
Yep.
and to relate with people, because meditation is such a safe place. I don't interact with people.
Right.
But when I interact with people, I realize I have so much fear about judgment.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm aware I'm choosing that thought, I'm
Mm-hmm.
picking it up,
Mm-hmm.
but feel like other people controlling me.
Okay, so
It's
first, just to be clear, to because I'm talking not just to you but to everyone in the group. So first, just to be clear, in meditation, whatever thoughts come, come, and sometimes thoughts can come in meditation, and feelings can come in meditation that we would not expect. We tend to expect, oh, meditation, everything settles down, becomes very tranquil, and often it does. But sometimes, as a result of that settling down of the mind and body, some of our old, kind of the neurological footprints of our old dramas and traumas that we've been carrying around for, God knows how long, the stuff starts to come out, which is a good thing. It's getting purified, it's getting flushed out of our nervous system. But while it's coming out, we may experience all kinds of um, um, unexpected emotions, sometimes very strong emotions. Sometimes thinking can be going on that, we may start getting going on a whole train of thoughts about a particular person that might be completely misguided. This is one of the reasons, by the way, that we always want to take a few minutes to come out at the end. You never want to come out quickly. For one thing, the body can be much more settled in physiologically than we realize. If we come out quickly, it can jar the body. You could get a headache or something. And another reason is if some of this is going on, this kind of agitation because of this very beneficial purification process that's going on, we want to give it a few minutes to kind of taper down, to round off at the end. So just want to be clear about that. Now, the other 23 hours of the day, okay, judgment comes up. Now, again, we want to be clear about a couple of things. First of all, there's a difference between judgment and evaluation. Okay? I mean, it just being an intelligent human adult navigating through life, we have to evaluate people and situations all the time. We have to know, oh, this person can be very touchy about such and such, so I have to talk to him in this way to avoid getting into a big brouhaha. Can I just say brouhaha again, just because that's fun to say? Or, okay, this person, I don't think this person's very reliable. I can't put them in charge of this task, but I can put them in charge of this task. They can staple the reports or whatever it is. So evaluation we do all the time. Okay? Judgment is something else. Okay? Judgment, as I think you're implying, has a feeling component to it, a negative feeling component, and the feeling is that's a bad person, right? The feeling is this person is um, how to put this person. This person is like a weed in the garden of life. I can't consider this right. Does that sound right?
yes,
Right. This
yes,
is not one of
yes,
this is not one of the flowers. This is a weed. If I had
yes.
the power, I would pull this weed and
But really,
yeah. Right. Right. Okay. So you know why you have those feelings of judgment, Susie? It's because you're a human being, right? This is it's a human thing. It's a human thing. Um, I'd say step one is don't judge yourself for judging people. Okay. Okay. You hear that? Right. Right. Don't, you've been putting all these people on the shit list and then you just do it to yourself. It's just added one more person to the shit list. What does that accomplish? Right. Right. I mean, there are I mean, it's on the one hand, it's a very human thing. On the other
Mm.
hand, I think you're very right. And sometimes as we practice meditation for some months or as you have for some years, we get more sensitized to this and we realize it doesn't feel good. It feels toxic to be involved with that, to be stuck in that judgment. It feels toxic. I don't want to be doing this. And I think that's a very right impulse. Um, and there's a couple of things we can do about this. I mean, some of it is just keep meditating. Just keep meditating because when we settle down in meditation, the nervous system gets settled into that good place, whatever you want to call it, samadhi, satori, the kingdom of heaven within. The nervous system more and more gets to know what that feels like. That feeling of, oh, home, this, right? That peace, that natural serenity. Then we come back out into the world and we start without necessarily thinking about it. We find ourselves trying to, because we want to stay home. We want to be able to function in the world while still being settled in the kingdom of heaven within. So we become a little bit more sensitive, or maybe sensitive is not the best word, a little more cognizant, a little more aware, sometimes a lot more aware of ways of functioning and situations and external things and internal things that don't encourage that. It may be you used to like to listen to certain kinds of music, right? That was great for a certain time, fulfilled a certain need, or going to certain places, or and now that you feel that this happened to me years ago. I used to smoke cigarettes. I used to smoke up to 2 packs a day.
Wow.
Yeah. And I never tried to quit. I never intended to quit. I started getting involved in this stuff. And one day I was sitting, I'll never forget. It was my freshman year of college. I started smoking when I was 12, right? So it was my freshman year in college, and I was sitting on a couch in a living room all by myself at this rented house in the Sunset District of San Francisco. I'm halfway through a cigarette, and suddenly I got like this bolt of clarity. I said, wait a minute, these things don't get me high. Using the vocabulary of the time, this is like 1966. Wait, these things don't get me high. It wasn't making me feel better. It wasn't serving a need. And I put it out, and that was it. I was done smoking. So in the same way, things that, like sometime, Yaffa and I will take a walk in when it was not quarantine time. We would walk down Main Street here in Santa Monica, on a Friday night or a Saturday night when the bars are busy and they're full of people and, loud throbbing music and people crowded together. And I mean, me personally, I look at that and go, man, that is not my idea of a good time. Right? But I don't judge people for that because wherever they are, for them that fills some need or something, or some perceived need. Um, if it doesn't make them happier, maybe the music's loud enough, it distracts them from their unhappiness, something like that. And but it might be that, I mean, I know it is because I've been teaching this stuff for years. People often will experience, they start to meditate and they feel, gee, maybe I don't want to go hang out in that bar with that loud throbbing music anymore, right? So these things that seem to be, that attracted us before, now we may start to fall away. Now, the same thing applies to some of these internal things, like judging other people, right? It can take some time. And in a way, the internal stuff can be more, we can decide, okay, I'm not going to go into the bar, right? Whereas the judgment stuff, because there's no, physical moment of decision, it can tend to keep coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but my the fear is not
Yeah, what are you afraid of?
judging other people. It's more of the fear of to be judged.
Okay. Okay.
So even I'm creating in my mind,
Right.
but it seems real and
Uh-huh.
feels like someone controlling me
Well, how are they controlling you?
because when I feel judged
Yeah.
negatively about me
How do they
and
control you? Does they control, whether you turn left or turn right
control
or
my mind and emotion. It's
wait,
like
say it again?
I feel like to control my mind and emotion,
Yeah.
the emotion.
Yeah, no, they're not controlling your mind. They're not controlling. No one can do that. No one can do that. Right? No one can do that.
Yeah, but I feel like I
Yes. Yeah, no, and
yeah,
notice what you
like
said.
I know I'm intellectually I'm choosing that, but it
Right.
feels so real.
It feels real. You are choosing to believe that someone else is controlling what you choose.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to be free from those, fear of judgment, from other,
Right.
I'm judged from other people, but
Right.
it's
Yeah. Um yeah, that's well, I mean, first can you see okay. So the emotional reaction is one thing. Let's leave that aside for a second. Just looking at it logically, just looking at it intellectually, can you see that someone else, if I'm sitting here, you're sitting there, my thoughts are, so to speak, inside my head, your thoughts are, so to speak, inside yours. I can't control your thoughts. I can't control your feelings, right? So you can understand intellectually, even if
mhm,
emotionally it feels differently, that this is
mm.
your thing. This is not me or anyone else doing it to you, right? You got that part?
Yes,
Okay, good, good.
yes,
So keep a handhold on that part for starters, I would say. Okay, keep a hand.
okay,
Good, good.
okay.
Um, and have you ever had the experience um, of getting a whole like story going on in your head about what a person is thinking, maybe what they're thinking about you, and then
Yeah,
somehow
a
you
lot.
but then you eventually you talk to them and find out that you completely made it up yourself. You ever had that
Um,
happen? Okay,
yeah, sometimes happen, but
sometimes it happens. Okay, if it's happened even one time, good. Then we're getting some. I'm bringing the gallery view in here for my thing. Okay, other people. Anyone else ever had that experience? Give us a thumbs up if you've had that experience. Okay, good, good. Yes, everyone has that experience. If you're not sure, Susie, I would say pay closer attention because again, this is part of being human. And let me ask you this: what if they're judging you? Let's say you're right. You're wrong, actually, but let's just say you're right. Let's just say you're right. People are judging you left and right. So what? So what? Therefore, what? Does that take food out of your mouth? Does that take money out of your bank account? How does it actually affect you if, in fact, people can have whatever freaking thoughts they're having? So what?
it's easy to say, but I don't feel like it's so what. Like,
Mm-hmm. Can you see intellectually? So what? Can you see logically? So what?
yeah,
Okay.
I can see.
Okay. So I want to make a suggestion for you. Take a post-it or something and put it on your bathroom mirror so you see it when you get up in the morning and brush your teeth. And we take a Sharpie and write "so what" on it. Just to have that there. Just just
Okay.
just to have that there. Just to have that just to have that little reminder, even if you've had one moment of clarity of seeing so
Mm-hmm.
what,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then there's that little seed there. And, and then continue to meditate and also some of the, some of the other kind of auxiliary practices. And I want to get to, let me check the time here. Yeah, good. I want to get to a particular kind of extra practice here tonight that some of you, I think, did with me last week that I think you may find helpful in that regard as well. Okay, so so check back with me in a week or a couple of weeks. Let me know how that goes. But I really want you to put that post-it on your mirror. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Um, I want to get just for a moment go back to the meditation itself, particularly since we have a new person here, Rachel. Did you get the? Do you have any questions about what we're doing here in the meditation itself?
No, no questions for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you
But I
get?
understand.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I understand
Mm-hmm.
what.
Yeah. So you get the simplicity of what we're doing here.
Hmm.
Yeah. Good. So if you got the simplicity, you got the whole thing. Right. And this was not the beginner's lesson. This was not, oh, and then we start to get to the real stuff and add the hard stuff later. This is it. This is it. Um, and the whole principle of it. But I just want to take a moment and make sure we're clear about the principle of it, of why we do this, we meditate in this way, this non-doing, non-effortful way. And also, um, non-content. We're not meditating about this or about that, which would just be thinking, just keeping the mind on the surface, our attention on the surface of the mind. What we want to, so if you think of the mind as like an ocean, um, all the thinking is the waves on the surface. What we want is to be in the silent depths of the ocean. Um, so the two, I don't want to use this word mistakes. Sounds like kind of a judgmental word, but okay. The two,
Are you
the,
judging, Dean?
the two, the two most usual approaches to meditation that seem to me less skillful. Okay, uh, one it would be meditating about something. So there's some content. Maybe we're meditating. We're thinking about peace. We're thinking about something, but that's not the same as being at peace. So it's we're stuck on the surface. Then the other thing is effort. Effort. People the usual reaction is, oh, I want the mind to be at peace. I want the mind to be quiet. And there's all this wave activity going on here. I got to grab a big 2x4 and bam 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 pound all the waves and flatten out the surface. But that's a never ending task. So that's when you hear from people, oh, I tried to meditate and it was so hard. Right? And I say, no, it was hard because you tried. You tried to meditate, therefore it was hard. You were just stirring up the water more. You're playing whack-a-mole with the waves there. There's always going to be another one. So what we do instead is we just hang out. Okay, let the waves be there. And then this natural gravitation of the mind to be home, to settle within itself, to be at peace. The gravitation takes over and we just gently just tend to start settling. It tends to happen spontaneously. And the thoughts, the sounds, whatever, they're going on somewhere, but we just don't engage in them, and we don't engage in trying to get rid of them, and it all takes care of itself. And we usually start at the beginning with some little what I call on ramp, some simple activity. This case we did the shoulders and the breath, and other times we'll use sound or some other something else as the on ramp, and then always take a few minutes at the end to come out, even if you don't feel you need it, because sometimes we're more settled than we realize because it sneaks up on us in such a natural way. And it's really good to do this if you're really interested in checking it out, seeing, if this stuff really can make life better and more friction free and more fun and productive and all that. Spoiler alert, yeah, it does. Then it's really good to do it, ideally to do it every day, to set up a time in your schedule, just like brushing your teeth, where you sit down. It doesn't have to be long, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something. And then, maybe do that for a month and see if you're having a better time. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. Good. Okay. What else?
Um, Dean, I'm kind of glad that Susie started talking about the judgment thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, real quick, for me, I think because this is such an awareness-based practice,
Mm-hmm.
I've started to notice, and this has been going on for quite a while,
Mm-hmm.
judgment. I've seen my own judgment towards myself, and also like judgment towards other people, and
Mm-hmm.
it's or even things, just as it's for everything. I mean, judgment can be applied to everything, whether it's the light that just turned red and you need to get to someplace and how wrong and bad this is,
Mm-hmm.
or it's the person checking out in the checkout counter who's moving too slow because of something else, et cetera, et cetera, et
Right.
cetera. So I think this practice is kind of that's where it goes. That's where it takes you to sort of sometimes because you become just more aware of that. I think in the past I
Mm-hmm.
would have done it and not even being aware that I was doing it. And I
Right.
think with this it kind of allows me to, yeah, I might do it for a bunch of time and then all of a sudden I'll say, look, we just take a look at that. Wow, look
Mm-hmm.
what just happened. Like
Mm-hmm.
all of this emotional energy for what? And it's still
Right.
becomes something very, I won't say difficult, but tricky to manage because it just boom, it's so in your face and there it is. But that again, I think is the beauty of this practice, that bump
Yeah.
in your face is kind of good to some extent because
Yes.
now you see it in your face. And
Yes.
now you're aware of how many times during the day this can happen to you
Yes.
you were not knowing before, which
Yes.
to me just means okay, it's more work to be done, sort
Y-
of, right? There's more stuff to do here
More.
that
Yes.
I'm not quite as oblivious as I was before, maybe.
Right.
And
Right.
for me, it's like it's the judgment towards myself is just as powerful as judgment towards anybody else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So my judgment towards me, if we're talking about negative judgment,
Right.
can be quite as energetic as my judgment towards the outside world and all the other things that are going on.
Yes. Yes.
So I
It's the
just
same
wanted
energy. It's the same energy. It's just.
same energy,
It's
right?
just pointed in
Just
a different
point-
direction.
right, exactly.
Same gun, just different aim.
Exactly. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to put that out there, and I've had some success with just self-compassion and compassion to others. That
Mm-hmm.
that kind of in that moment when you catch yourself doing that, just sort of say, "Look at what I'm doing, man. I wouldn't be treating somebody I didn't even know this way. Let me just take a moment. Maybe I could give myself just a little bit of
Right.
calm, healing, soothing stuff here, or
Right.
whoever that person is at the counter or whatever. Why am I getting so upset at them? They're
Yeah.
a human being like me. Let me just kind of open my heart a little bit here if I can. So
Right.
it's kind of like that. So I just wanted again just to throw that out like
Right.
that.
Yeah. No. I think Peter, that's very astutely observed. Um, and you're absolutely right that, I mean, it's interesting because it can be different for different people and different for the same person at different times, different phases on your path. But as a general thing, we can sometimes feel that I'm getting worse. And you're not getting worse. You're just becoming more aware of, what you've been doing, right? You're being, and here's a very simple thing that's similar. Um, if you've ever had this happen, when let's say you're in the middle of meditation and the phone rings, you forgot, you neglected to turn off your phone or something, and it kind of makes you jump. It just seems loud. Now, normally when the phone rings, or maybe the cat jumps in your lap or something, and you jump. It seems startling. Normally that wouldn't be so startling. It wouldn't be so loud. But because you're more settled down, right? In a funny way, it's kind of perversely, it's a nice demonstration of the fact that meditation really works. That, you know, the sympathetic nervous system really settles down. The parasympathetic really does kick in. We do come settle in more into this more tranquil hypometabolic state. So something that normally wouldn't seem loud or seem startling seems to be, because we're more settled. So in the same way that, you know, the bar and the throbbing music, they're the same as they've always been. It's us that's changed. So that thing, that external thing that can seem more toxic to us, in the same way these internal things, we become more acutely aware of them. Yeah, I'm hanging out in this, you know, directing the, you know, having these toxic feelings about these other people, and they're, you know, I mean, my favorite is I haven't done this now since we've been in quarantine, but, you know, when I have to wait in line at the post office, and there's and our post office, there's only two windows, and one of, because it's a tiny little one, usually one of them is closed, and there always gets to be the person in front of me who's got, like, you know, 30 boxes they're having shipped. And then they're filling out, they're sending a money order to the Dominican Republic. And then they're bup. And, yeah, and I'm standing there fuming. How dare they have 30 boxes, right? How dare, right? And of course, it's just, it's a wonderful opportunity to practice. It's a wonderful opportunity to see to see yourself causing suffering for yourself, because it doesn't do anything to that person.
Yeah, that I meant. Some feels like someone controlling you, you know.
Yeah. You're just doing it to yourself. You're just
Yes,
and
I know.
yeah. So it's a great opportunity to see the second noble truth in action. Oh, when the Buddha said we generate our own suffering, this is exactly what he was talking about, right? And then from there we can go on to the third noble truth, which is the cessation. Okay, if it's me doing this, that's fantastic news, because it means I can stop. If it was coming from the outside, if my suffering was coming from the outside, we'd all be screwed here, because, you know, the universe is so much bigger than we are. I mean, stuff still happens, but, you know, we've all seen how the same stuff will happen to two different people, and one person is out of their mind, the other person is, you know, able to step up and handle it. Right? So it's not a direct function of the situation on the outside. It's how we process these things more skillfully or less skillfully. So there you are, you find yourself, you're next in line in the post office, and the person in front of you is going to take 20 minutes, and now they're paying in loose change. They're counting their pennies. Oh my God, you're ready to throttle them. Great. Great. You can really see yourself doing that. And okay, how do I, now I can choose to keep doing this. You know, and again, to judge yourself for judging them, try that. Well, we've already tried that. That's not skillful. So how do we do this? You know, and sometimes it feels almost like the solution is more, we can't necessarily get there with attitude or with logic. It's almost more energetic, more somatic. Like, take a deep breath and just, you know, let it go. Right? Sense of humor is also really helpful with all this stuff.
So, Dean, I think what the instruction that you have given has been useful for me. Just in the beginning of just letting go, you know, just letting go, just releasing your grip on this that has you in that very moment. And that is difficult to do sometimes. But if you can actually get yourself to that space where you realize this is going on, and you actually are able to just, as you said, maybe breathe or just let go, release your grip here. it really does start to shift everything. You know, it really, you start to move into a completely different space,
Yeah.
or maybe reconnect with a space that's already really there. You know,
Yes.
that's
Yes. The space is always there because the nature of awareness itself, beingness itself, as we say over and over, is like open space, and that's always available. It's very clear. It becomes very clear to us in meditation that completely space-like, textureless, densityless, colorless awareness is always available in meditation when we're sitting by ourselves with our eyes closed to settle back into. But it's also always there when we're in line at the post office or anywhere else, right? Because all that's taking place within awareness. Where else can it be? We're aware of that. It's happening within awareness. But in this case, we get caught up, as we do most of the time. This is why we have to meditate, because when we're out of meditation, even though that boundlessness, that infinite okayness is always there as the background, we get caught up in the stuff in the foreground. We get captivated by the shiny objects, whether it's the good stuff, the stuff that attracts us, or the bad stuff, the stuff that repels us. We get caught up in the foreground. So if there can be some settling into the background, even as we're still engaging however we have to engage with the foreground stuff, then we're really getting someplace. Then we're starting to integrate the two. Then we're starting to more move in the direction where we can be just blissing out in the background all the time, even when we're very vigorously engaged with stuff in the foreground. And something where you're standing in line is perfect. Because you don't have, driving is a little trickier because you still have to operate, you need some attention on operating the automobile and not crashing, right? But you get plenty of opportunities there because, there's so many knuckleheads, on the road. Have you noticed that the later you are for your appointment, the stupider everyone else on the road is? Isn't that odd? There's a direct correlation. Okay? This tells us something. This tells us we're doing all this in here. This tells us we're crazy, right? We are just humanly crazy and like everyone else, right? Only, we've got this little orientation toward recognizing when we're getting caught up in the thing and then, as you say, letting go. Now, one thing, Peter, by the way, I've slightly changed the, I'm always trying to refine the vocabulary of this stuff. That phrase "let go" I use. You're referring to the 1994 model, okay? I use that less. It's a good phrase for people who get it, as you did. But a lot of people, I realized, when they hear "let go," they think it means, oh, the thing is supposed to go away, right? And therefore they say, in fact, as you just did a minute ago, I try to let go, but it's hard, right? See, even there, even in what you said, there's built into that, there's some expectation. Oh, I'm going to try to let this thing go, and then it's supposed to go away. See, now that's a process in time. So for one thing, that's taking us out of the moment. Where there's an expectation of a thing in the future, even if it's 5 seconds in the future. And so anytime we step out of just relaxing into the moment, we're stepping out of the really effective Dharma practice. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is there's that. Then we're requiring the thing to go away. That's not letting go. That's holding on. We're holding on to the idea this thing's got to go away. Can you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when I pretty much, I've stopped saying let go. What I say now is relax your grip. Okay? Relax your grip. So that is a thing that we do in the moment, and that's it. Now in the next moment, maybe we relax our grip again, or relax our grip some more. But what happens to the object is none of our business. It's because that's the fruits of the action. That's, the great profound, one of the great profound teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. I know you've heard this before, is, when Krishna says to Arjuna, you have control over your actions only. Over the fruits of the actions, you have no control. That's a huge, huge insight. We can only.
Say that again, Dean, please.
Yes, you have control only over your actions. You have no control over the fruits of your actions. Right? And that applies to everything. That's you can do what you can do. And of course, it doesn't mean that you do it in a slipshod way or a complacent way. We do it as conscientiously and as skillfully as we can. But then the result is the result, and the result is we can't control what the result is going to be, and it doesn't always or ever turn out exactly as we had expected or hoped. Right? Are you hearing that, Peter?
Yeah, as you were talking, I was listening. At the same time, I was also, things were coming up for me. So I think part of it is this idea, which again, we're talking about Dharma and we're talking about teachings, that right in this moment is a perfect moment. This is a perfect moment. It's only the obscurations that are sort of.
This is the only. This is the only moment.
This is the only moment, right?
We only, as Charles Genoux, my wonderful Buddhist teacher. We were just on a weekend online retreat with him.
I heard.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And I remember years ago, Charles, this always stuck with me, Charles saying, because there's so much about kind of fetishizing, the present and the power of now, and it's so special and so great. And I remember Charles saying, there's nothing special about the present moment except that it's all we have. Right? So if you're trying to have your practice happen in any moment other than the present, it's to some degree you're digging yourself deeper into confusion, right? So, and that's what, and again, we get a chance to see ourselves doing this in meditation, where we realize you've gone off on this whole chain of thoughts or this whole fantasy or this whole whatever for the last 10 minutes. And then I go, oh, damn, I just wasted 10 minutes of my valuable meditation time caught in that thing. And you're like trying to somehow erase that from happening. Or, have you ever do this? You're in a conversation with a person, and then after the conversation's over, they've left or you've left, you've gone home, and 10 minutes later or the next day or something, you realize, oh, this is what I should have said. This is the clever reply I should have, when they said X, I should have replied Y. That'd have been so clever. And then you ever find yourself trying to re-edit the footage in your head and convince yourself that you really did say that clever thing? No? I'm the only one that's crazy? Okay. No, the tough crowd here tonight, but I've asked this one in other groups, and there have been people who've nodded their heads. So I know I'm not the only one, but I see it when I'm doing it now, right? And I have a good laugh at myself. So yeah, so we can't re-edit the, and I'm laughing as I say this also because down the hall, as we speak, my wife is editing. Yafa's a film editor and she works on documentary films and I always put this in quotation marks, quote, reality, unquote, shows. She's in there editing reality. And all the reality shows that you see, of course, are, everything's gotten a little bit massaged to make it reality. So we try to edit our own reality. We try to edit the past, the future. Okay, again in meditation. I just spent 10 minutes thinking about being on vacation in Hawaii. I got to come back to here, and this time I'm going to stay here. I'm not going to go off and do that for another 10 minutes. So there, you're trying to control the future, which is another way to tie yourself in knots. So all this is fine when you recognize it. Then you recognize it, you have a good laugh at yourself, and here we are in the present. And what do we do? So what can we do in the present? We can relax our grip. So here's the thing, whatever it is, the fantasy, the rant, the resentment, the memory, whatever it is, we find the mind, here's the mind. The mind is gripping on this thing. Okay? So when we say let it go, all those years I was saying let it go, this is what I meant. But it took me a while to realize that some people thought let it go meant now it has to go away. So they're trying to push it away, which is another way of hanging on to it, staying engaged with it. So what we do is relax your grip. See, then if it's still there, that's fine, because now the mind is wide open to the vast sky-like nature of awareness that has all these things in it, of which this is just one. And then also, just by the way, when we've relaxed our grip on it, it does facilitate it falling away in its own time, but that doesn't really matter. That doesn't really matter. Is this making sense to people?
Yeah, I really like that
Yeah.
way. 2020.
Yeah. And this to me, that this has become one of the most powerful practice slogans. There is this: just relax your grip, both in meditation and out. Again, everything that you were asking about before, Susie, about this whole business of dealing with judgment, or with your thought or your fear or your fantasy that other people are judging you, and you're caring that other people judge you. Just relax your grip on the whole thing.
Yeah. So what? Relax
So what?
the grip. Yes.
So what?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You bet. Good.
And that really is important. That I'm glad you explained it. I get it a little better between the letting go or releasing your grip. Is a really important distinction.
Relax your grip. Look, see, this is my life. This is my life right here in real time. I see the words being changed. Can you see? Even release your grip is too much. Relax your grip. Maybe because even release sounds like, okay, I got to completely so relax your grip.
Wow, that's very subtle.
It is very subtle.
So
it is very subtle.
What I was going to add to that was that it allows you to still be with it. In other words, you are not trying to get rid of it. You're not trying to push it away.
Right.
You can still be with it.
Yeah.
And it still be
but we're not engaging with it.
Engaging, correct, right.
We're not engaged. It's like Peter, do you drive stick shift?
Yes.
Okay. I knew you were going to say yes. Right. So it's like the engine is still running, but you depress the clutch.
Right.
So then it doesn't matter that the engine is still running. We're not engaged with it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And the thing is, and especially if there's something that is recurring, something that like Susie, I'm working a little tonight on getting you to look at some of your stuff and laugh at it, because laughter is very helpful. It helps to loosen up our grip on this stuff, and the stuff that can seem very big and scary. You notice that comedians, and actually one of my best friends is a stand-up comic, and I've talked with him at some length about this stuff, that usually comedians' material is about the stuff that scares us, about the stuff that creates our fears and our anxieties. Because what happens is, they talk, whatever, marriage and sex and work and what's going on politically, all this stuff that people have a lot of anxiety about. Because then if they can get you to look at it in some different way, some way where you're seeing some incongruity, and then this very odd physiological, neurophysiological response happens that we call laughter. What the hell is laughter? We start taking these big gulps of air, and there's this big kind of spasmodic, heaving of the diaphragm, and it there's some kind of big flush of endorphins or something. I don't know what all the biology is, but it feels something like that. So all this happens, this kind of feel-good shower happens while we are right in the face of the thing that has been scaring us or worrying us. And that loosens up its grip on it. So this power of laughter is very good. But the thing is that if something that's recurring like this feeling of, oh, people are judging me and it matters whether they judge me, when it's deeply rooted like that, there's all this stuff has to do with our conditioning, whatever's happened in our past and so forth. And so some of it may be kind of deeply rooted, and it may take some time for it to get loosened up. That's okay. But every time we relax our grip on the thing, whatever it is, we're taking away some of its power. Right? So whatever the thing is, whatever power you feel it has on you right now, this is the most power it's ever going to have. Okay? Good. The sun is rising. That's great. That's great. Good. Good. What else? Anyone else with a question or observation, anything tonight? Okay. Must be time for a musical interlude. Any requests? Let's do. Okay. So I'm going to keep you all muted because when people try to sing together online, there's a lag and it gets strange. So if you want to do this along with me, that's I recommend it, but otherwise just let it wash over you. So this is some of you have heard this one or sung this one before. This is the mantra of healing. This is one I learned from wonderful teacher Gina Salah in Tibet. And there's a lot of really kind of amazing stories about people reporting getting physical healing, emotional healing, psychological healing, which, we're growing into with these practices anyway, but this mantra seems to kind of help it along. So the words are Hari Om, Hari Om. And in particular, our country has just been through a whole lot in the last 4 years. And hopefully we're in a time of healing now. It feels like that, thank God. So you might want to just kind of have a feeling of sending light out, light of healing to the nation, or, to yourself or to others, whatever. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. 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 Okay. May all beings swiftly realize their own sky-like, space-like, boundless, true nature of pure being, pure awareness, infinite okayness. And may all their suffering dissolve into that. May they find the way to relax their grip on it all as soon as possible, please. And thus may all conflict evaporate like the dew on the morning grass. And the traditional Sanskrit language for that wish. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dean.
Thanks so much. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you, Dean.
Enjoy
Thank you,
being.
Dean.
Thank you.